This Civic Media podcast is sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. Organ donations are desperately needed, and now is the right time to become an organ donor. Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Go to heroicdeed.com.
This is your WXCO Daily News Roundup for Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 AM in Wausau.
For WXCO News, I'm Brittany Merlot. Enbridge Pipeline spilled over 70,000 gallons of oil in Wisconsin. The problem was discovered on November 11th in Jefferson County, 60 miles west of Milwaukee, by an Enbridge energy technician. Enbridge said the spill on the company's Line 6 was caused by a faulty connection on a pump transfer pipe at the Enbridge Cambridge station. It was estimated 1,650 barrels, which is equivalent to about 70,000 gallons, went into the ground. The spill was immediately reported to regulators, though the report by a federal pipeline safety agency said the line likely was leaking for an extended period of time. Line 6 is a 465-mile pipeline carrying crude oil from Superior, Wisconsin, to a terminal near Griffith, Indiana. People noted the spill was discovered during the same week that Wisconsin regulators approved the first permits for Enbridge's plan to move the aging Line 5 pipeline around the Bad River Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Reservation. Opponents said it would still threaten the region's watershed and perpetuate the use of fossil fuels. And there's an effort underway to clean up contaminated water in rural areas of the state. A group of farmers may have some answers, but they also have questions about support for the work.
Making sure that everybody's responsible about their actions and doing what they can to help clean up the problem. So does that include state and federal programs that would have dollars made available?
That's President Darren Von Ruden with the Wisconsin Farmers Union. Clean water is one of the big topics that farmers from across the state talked about in Wisconsin Dells this weekend. If Congress doesn't pass an extension for the expired farm bill soon, outdated laws will go into effect. One example, farmers would be paid a set amount, but consumers would pay twice as much as the current price.
We really need to make sure that the farm bill is there so that, number one, farmers have protection, but number two, consumers have protection too. And without it, we're both in trouble because people simply won't be able to afford to eat.
He believes everyone will be hurt without any movement on the farm bill. And Wisconsin currently only has 4 abortion clinics. That means 96% of Wisconsin counties don't have an abortion provider. And about 70% of Wisconsinites of reproductive age live in a county without an abortion clinic. Under state law, Wisconsin doctors can't prescribe abortion medication via telemedicine, but other states have shield laws, meaning that their doctors can prescribe abortion pills to people in other states. On average, Wisconsinites are placing 130 orders per month of abortion medication via telemedicine. Jenny Higgins from UW-Madison's Collaborative for Reproductive Equity says Shield Law clinicians provide critical and affordable care to Wisconsinites, and they're worried about new laws in the new administration, especially those that could be used to target people of color.
That Black and brown women are the most likely to be criminalized during pregnancy, whether that pregnancy is ending in abortion or birth. And so I think we need to pay great attention to the ways in which some of the pregnant people with the least social power could be putting themselves at risk.
An 1800s law could come into play under the new administration. Project 2025 directs leaders to use the old law to criminalize abortion. And some state attorney generals have already asked courts to make mailing abortion pills illegal under the act. The Menominee tribe in Wisconsin has seen a decrease in overdose incidents. Lisa Hale reports.
There's good news out of the Menominee tribe, who in 2022 declared a state of emergency due to the impacts of drug use and addiction. So far this year, the tribe has seen a nearly 70% decrease in overdose incidents. Ben Warrington, the co-chair of the Menominee Indian Tribe Drug Addiction Intervention Team, said the decrease is a result of providing education and resources to those struggling with addiction and substance abuse. While the decrease is good news, there's more to do. Many clinics and treatment centers have seen an increase in the number of patients seeking assistance for mental health and/or addiction issues. Officials say wanting to change is a very positive development, but some hurdles, such as access to care and treatments, program funding, adequate provider staffing, law limitations, and limited resources within jails and prisons, still remain. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported a 3% decrease in overdose deaths in the United States from 2022 to 2023.
And beginning in February, Wisconsin Medicaid members who don't have secure housing will have a new benefit through the state. Melissa Kay has more.
The new program is for Medicaid members who are experiencing housing insecurity and are also affected by substance use or mental health conditions. It's intended to offer a support system grounded in the stability, dignity, and well-being that secure housing can provide. The benefit does not cover rent or ongoing expenses, but does provide ongoing assistance and counseling.
And Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul has sent a warning to 4 voice service providers in the state, accusing them of allowing illegal robocall traffic on their networks. He says it's a part of a bipartisan and multi-state litigation task force. Gas prices have increased almost 6 cents from the past week, rising now to an average of $2.77. This is still over 7 cents lower than a month ago and nearly 6.5 cents higher than this time last year. Gasoline inventories increased by 5.1 million barrels, though this is around 4% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Domestic crude oil production is higher than last year, producing 13.63 million barrels per day. The demand for gas is roughly 0.3% higher so far in 2024 than it was last year. However, refiners in the Midwest region have dropped slightly in output, meaning it's possible gas prices could continue to rise slightly in our area. Prices today in central Wisconsin range from $2.52 to $2.77 per gallon. And farmers from across the state met in Wisconsin Dells this weekend and had some important topics to tackle. One big worry is the increasing number of wolves attacking calves. Here's Wisconsin Farmers Union President Darren Von Ruden.
We have some members that have seen 15 to 20% of their calves lost due to wolves. Another member put 8-foot fence all the way around their whole farm. That could be something that actually make the farm go bankrupt because it's not cheap to put that fence up.
He wants to find a balance between farmers losing their livelihoods and advocates of wolf conservation. Von Ruden is a third-generation farmer in Westby, which is in the southwest part of the state. And it's that time of year. He's made his list and he's checked it twice. Santa is packing his bags and ready to fly in the sky next week, delivering gifts to all the good kids. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, tracks the big man himself as he flies across the globe, so you and your kids can follow jolly old St. Nick's progress on Christmas Eve at www.noradsanta.org. I'm Brittany Merlot for WXCO.
The Packers beat the Seahawks. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Green Bay jumped out to an early lead and beat the Seahawks 30-13. The Packers scored on a 10-play opening drive. Running back Josh Jacobs was the ball carrier on 9 of those plays.
I always want to set the tone. I always want to start the game a certain type of way to create, energy and things like that for the team.
The Packers offense began to sputter in the third quarter. Quarterback Jordan Love.
It's something that we're going to have to clean up, just having that consistency through 4 quarters and be able to put together a 4-quarter battle.
Next, the Packers host the Saints on Monday Night Football. College volleyball, the Wisconsin women's team losing the regional finals to Nebraska in 3 straight sets.
It's always hard when you lose that your last match. You feel for them, especially when you see the work that they do day in and day out, and stacking years on top of that.
As Badgers head coach Kelly Sheffield with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwab. Third time is a charm for Anne Hathaway, who says Christopher Nolan saved her career. I had no idea it was ever in danger, but show folk do tend to exaggerate. The Oscar-winning actress says being cast in her third Christopher Nolan film let her know she was doing something right. Other Nolan films the actress has appeared in include The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, and Oppenheimer. Hathaway also appears in the new Nolan movie, which people know very little about, and that's the way Christopher Nolan likes it. Not many people have had a run in TV like Ted Danson. Even when the former Cheers star and current star of A Man on the Inside doesn't like a project, it turns into a hit. Danson says he thought Curb Your Enthusiasm sucked, but still agreed to play himself to help out his pal Larry David because he felt sorry for him. Danson went on to be in every season of the critically acclaimed show and admitted later it reinvigorated him and made him want to be funny again. Just a quick message to God regarding the way too successful Ted Danson, that'll do. Zombie fans will be excited to learn that the third installment of Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later franchise is just around the corner. The film is called 28 Years Later and stars Aaron Taylor Johnson and Ralph Fiennes. Boyle returns to the director's chair for this film after executive producing the second installment of the franchise 28 weeks later. Ben Stiller can be downright rude, at least when he's playing Hal, the role he is playing again in Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler. In an interview with Yahoo News, Stiller said about his character, he's just so mean and he just hates Happy so much. You don't have to worry about having any redeeming qualities or being likable, which is great. For whatever reason, the plot for Happy 2 is being kept completely under wraps. Shooting for the film has been completed and a tentative release date is set for July 2025 on Netflix. Drew Barrymore says she has been warned by her talk show guests not to be so touchy. The host often holds the hands of her guests and is very huggy and says she is working on not invading people's space and respecting boundaries. In a recent appearance on the show, Wicked star Cynthia Erivo said she didn't mind as she is very affectionate as well and gave permission to Touchy McGee to be affectionate during her appearance. Grabby Moore also held hands with Ariana Grande when she made an appearance on the show. I wonder if she would be as handsy with Seth Rogen. Doubtful. Third time is a charm for Anne Hathaway, who says Christopher Nolan saved her career. I had no idea it was ever in danger, but show folk do tend to exaggerate. The Oscar-winning actress says being cast in her third Christopher Nolan film let her know she was doing something right. Other Nolan films the actress has appeared in include The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, and Oppenheimer. Hathaway also appears in the new Nolan movie, which people know very little about, and that's the way Christopher Nolan likes it. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Foggy this morning. It's going to be cloudy with flurries or sprinkles possible off and on today. Our high 37 this afternoon. Becoming windy by late afternoon. It'll be breezy tonight. Our low 24 tomorrow. Mostly cloudy with a high right around 30. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 35.
That's your WXCO Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at bullfallsradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.